Today I'm bringing to you how to make your own soil, because frankly it is a lot cheaper than going to buy the premix, and you end up with a whole bunch more. I have Vermiculite. I got this at the Greenhouse Megastore, and it basically helps with keeping the moisture in. You can use peat moss or coconut coir. Coconut coir is a bunch more expensive, but it works wonderfully. I also add my perlite. Perlite is a way to help with drainage and aerate your soil, because part of it is the topsoil. Topsoil, this whole bag is less than $2. And then I also have over here the compost. Now if you get, this is mushroom compost in a bag. However, you can get it by the load. You don't have to get it in a bag, but I don't have a truck, so we get it simply by the bag. And if you get the same brand of the compost as you do the topsoil, that's like just a little bit over $2. And I know if you get the premix stuff, it is far more expensive a bag. So if you get topsoil, some form of compost, now I break it into little portions because that's as much weight as my little gimpy self can lift. I can't lift the whole bag at one time. It's just too, I pay for it, and it's better to just do multiple trips. Other thing that I add to, blood meal. Blood meal helps with the nitrogen. Like I would add that to corn before I plant the seeds. And then there's bone meal. Bone meal is really great to get some good roots, and it also helps the phosphorus in the bone meal. And it's just a really good thing, especially with tomatoes. I put a little bit of each in my main mix, and I will add more if I need to, for depending on what I'm planting. Lastly is my fertilizer. Just so you know, I ran out of fertilizer, and with today's climate of shipping and priorities, I will not be getting my Trifecta anytime soon. I tend to use Trifecta Plus. There's a little bit in here from last time I made soil, but I ran out, so I will be doing some sort of fertilizer. Right now I'm trying this kind. It's earth friendly. I have to do things earth friendly because I have bees, and I don't want my girls bringing anything back into the hives or getting killed. They work themselves far too much to be killed by some sort of pesticide. So until I get my Trifecta, I will be adding that to when I water my plants. I cannot lift this. It is very heavy. I don't want to pay for it. So once I dumped my topsoil that has very little nutrients in it, it's very dark and lovely, and it's a bit wet from the rain, but it doesn't have much in it to help with gardening. So I put that in. Then I add my compost. And once I get a good little layer going on there, that's when I can add my bone meal and my blood meal and all that. Apparently I spilled my blood meal. I put in a cup of the blood meal, and I'm going to put in a cup of the bone meal. And then I'm just going to sprinkle it layer by layer, stir each layer up, and then I will have everything incorporated without killing myself. Next is the perlite. Again, I want this to be for aeration. Lastly, my vermiculite. Now I'm going to tell you right now, don't do the perlite or the vermiculite on a very windy day. It is very lightweight, and it will go everywhere. including your face, up your nose, everything. So I'm just going to sprinkle like half of that there, half of this here. I already put in most of the blood meal, and half of my perlite. And then I'm just going to do this over and over again until I get all of it in there and it's all mixed up. And again, mix it up while it's in layers, little by little. Now, I don't need to worry about this bottom portion. The bottom portion is stirred. It's completely incorporated. So we are going to finish this up, and I will show you what I'm going to do with that. Now I have my own potting soil. I can throw this on my raised bed. I can seed start with it. I can do all kinds of stuff with it. And I made it. And honestly, it couldn't have been easier and cheaper. Does it take a lot of extra time doing it step by step? Yes, it does. Does it still hurt? Yeah, it does. But I will get it done. And I just saved some money, and I have a ton more soil than if I would have bought big bags. And I can adjust it to however I need. Just so you know, when you put in Trifecta or the Granular ones, they will release slowly in the dirt. I only need to do that Trifecta about twice a season. When I put the granules fertilizer, like the Trifecta Plus, or I could use a Job's, any granule, it's releasing not all at one time. It's a slow release. So that's why I have the water soluble one that I put in my watering can, because that one goes immediately into the soil, where the pellets and granules will be slow released. I just have to remember that I didn't have anything for this, and that I need to add some when I plant my plants. And as you can tell, I have many plants still needing to go in the ground. I don't think it'll ever be done. Until later, enjoy! The other thing I like to do is I have a little spray gun. This one's brand new, so I have to test it out and see if I can get it to spray. However, I am making my organic spray mix that I do every year for my bees to be safe and bad predators and little bad insects to stay away. First, I gotta fill it with water all the way to the line. I filled it to the line, and now I'm gonna add my stuff. First, I have the Be Safe Insect Killer. I like the Be Safe because it's not only safe for bees, but it's safe for butterflies. And I just put a little bit of that in, pretty much a teaspoon. I have a very small one of these sprayers because, frankly, it's very heavy to hold. There are ones that go on your back to make it easier and ones that are much bigger, but this is the one that works for me. This year, I'm also doing the Gimpy Gardener squash vine borers. Vine borers be gone. Last year, it took me 14 zucchini plants just to get one zucchini all season. Most people will laugh at this because zucchini is everywhere and it grows crazy, but mine got killed by squash vine borers. Say that 5 times, because I know I certainly can't. So I got this from Gimpy Gardener, and according to directions, it says I should put in 2 tablespoons. So I put enough in to the line, and I throw it in my water. As most of you know, oil and water do not mix. So, soap, dish soap. I just put a little squirt in there and call it a day. Sometimes I also add what is called BT, and it's like a copper kind of thing. It helps with leaf-eating worms. It also helps with the different moths. She uses on broccoli, cabbage, mustard greens, and melons, tomatoes. Only use a half or a fourth of a teaspoon. So, you know what? I decided I'm just going to throw it in here for now. You simply put in the top and screw it in. Now, it is pressurized. That's the whole point of this. It'll make it into a fine mist spray that you can use on leaves and such. So do it tight, but not tight enough to break it. And then you have to pump, pump, pump. Lock it in. Let's see how I did. Look, for a brand new one, that worked out great. And that's how you do an organic spray for all the leaves. Now, technically, I suggest you don't do this before it rains. Don't do this after it's rained. Wait a little bit, and don't do it in the middle of the sun. Early morning is great. As the evening closes down, it's great. All of it is wonderful. So, go get yourself some and make it all up. I almost forgot. You can organically help your garden, but your legs, that's the pressure valve. It will release pressure and no longer spray the way you want it to. So, make sure you pump, 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 and make sure you shake, 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 because we need the oil, water, and the dish soap to mix so that it won't clog up or have a problem or not even come out correctly. I'm going to go spray my plants. Until later.